What is going on, everybody? It is me, Jamocha from Sounds Nerdy, and welcome back to the channel. Well, today Samsung had their Samsung Unpacked event, and at that event, they unleashed two Ultra products: the Samsung Ultra 23, obviously, and the Galaxy Ultrabook. All right, so I'm going to give you details about that and everything else that was announced at the show today. All right, and before we get into the details, if you are new to this channel, won't you consider and do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button. Also hit that like button as well if you enjoy this content. All right, let's jump into this. On my website, sounds30.com, I have an article that is from ZDNet that actually goes into the details about everything that was announced at the Samsung Unpacked event. Thought this article was pretty good compared to all the others. It broke down everything that was announced. So let's just get right into that. But before that, yeah, again, on my website, sounds30.com, I curate and aggregate tech news from across the web and bring it to you in one website, so you don't have to go to 10 or 15 different websites. So if you want more tech news, more Samsung news, head over to soundsnerdy.com, where all the tech news that I curate is there on the website. All right, let's get back into this article. So the Samsung Unpacked event. Let's talk about the S23 first off. So the S23 will start at a price of $799, obviously for the base model. Storage options for that will be 128 and 256 variants. It will come in Phantom Black, Cream, Green, and Lavender colors, which is the standard color across all three products, the Plus, the Ultra, and as well as the regular S23. So the 23 regular one has a 6.1-inch AMOLED screen with a display with 120 hertz adaptive refresh rate, obviously. Triple camera setup on the back of the phone with a 50 megapixel main camera, 12 megapixel ultra wide camera, and a 10 megapixel telephone lens. The 23 has a 3900 milliamp battery to start off with. So, also above the show, they spent a lot of time covering the cameras that are going to be in the 23 lineup, and very impressive. A lot of specs in there and a lot of megapixels. I'll go into that a little bit more. So let's move on to the another thing. So it comes in 128 and 256. Obviously, I would have to suggest that you go with the 256 model, because 128 will probably get sucked up real quick, especially with this camera here. You're probably going to be taking a lot more pictures and video. So yeah, I would opt for the 256, because as you know, there is no removable storage in these. All right, the Galaxy 23 Plus. This is also this one starts at $999. Has a 6.6-inch AMOLED screen. Has a 120 hertz adaptive rate with 256 gigabytes of memory. The camera setup is the same as the regular 23, and it also has a 4700 milliamp battery, and it also includes 8 gigabytes of RAM. So plenty of RAM, plenty of battery life, enough for you to do whatever you need to do on this phone. You can pretty much throw whatever you want at it, and it's going to be able to handle it. Okay. The Plus model is a good phone for anybody who doesn't want the basic phone but want a larger battery that's going to last you all day long, and plus probably and also with a larger screen as well, so you can get a little bit more real estate on that. So that is everything about the 23 Plus. Now let's talk about the big boy, the Galaxy S23 Ultra, or the Note replacement as it has been for the past couple of years. This one will start at $1,199 for the Ultra. Obviously, it comes with the S Pen as well included. The main wide camera is a 200 megapixel sensor. So Samsung has been hyping up the cameras on this phone, and obviously on the Ultra, this is going to be the best camera setup that you're going to get between the three models with the 200 megapixel sensor. So you're going to expect some very great picture quality with the Samsung phones. Last year's model only had 108 megapixels. So again, this is a big bump up from this year. So if you paid attention to all the promotional material that was out, you notice that they all had the camera lens, the 3 camera lens set up. So obviously Samsung has put a lot of emphasis on that. So 200 megapixel sensor, 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 2 it was going to be very interesting to see what the results are from all the camera tests and all the pictures that are out there. So I'll be looking forward to that to see how the 23 Ultra compares against the obviously the iPhone 14 Pro and the other top of the line flagship camera phones out there. So running off the camera setup is a 12 megapixel ultra wide angle and two 10 megapixel telephoto cameras. Um, the S23 Ultra has a 5,000 milliamp battery built in. Comes with 256, 512, and 1 terabyte variants. Um, Again, 256 is okay. I will probably opt for the 512 just to give yourself a little more storage room. Again, with this camera setup, and if you're opting for the Ultra, you're probably going to be taking a lot of pictures and video. So again, 512 is going to give you that best possible combination without breaking the bank. Because again, it starts at $11.99, so I assume that the 512 will be $12.99, and the 1 terabyte will probably be $13.99 for that one. So again, 8 gigabytes of RAM. You also have 12 gigabyte memory as well for the higher storage models as well. So the front-facing camera on all three models, 12 megapixels, which is a downgrade from the 23 Ultra since last year's S22 Ultra used a 40 megapixel camera. But I'm assuming that even though it has less megapixels, Samsung was able to do a lot more with the technology within the camera to actually make it probably equivalent or better. If you take a look at the event itself, the first 20 or so minutes they spent a lot just talking about the camera setup. So if you want to go check it out, just go over to Samsung's YouTube site and they have the press conference there. All three phones are powered by obviously Qualcomm's Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chip. So it's going to be very powerful, very fast, buttery smooth processing. You can do pretty much anything with it. It's going to improve your gaming. So you could throw pretty much any modern mobile game at this phone, and it's going to handle it without any problems. Okay, performance on this phone is going to be buttery smooth again with the 120 hertz refresh rate, 8 gigabytes or 12 gigabytes of RAM with the 512 or 112 or whatever storage size you get is going to do very fine. So don't even worry about that. The improved performance should net the Galaxy S23 owners peak speeds of 3.36 gigahertz, in addition to improved GPU for gaming, along with the camera and AI improvements. All the phones are available for pre-order today, and they will be released on February 17th. All right, to round out everything about the Galaxy devices that Samsung showed off today, here's a look at some of the specs for the cameras here. Again, I touched on some of this already. 50 megapixel wide cameras for the regular 23 and the 23 Plus. On the Ultra, you got a 200 megapixel wide camera. Here's some more specs about that if you want to nerd out and geek out on some of that stuff about the aperture size and all that. Field of view. High resolution, so 200 megapixel for on the Ultra, 50 megapixel on the 23 and the 23 Plus. Obviously 4K video at 60 frames per second. 8K video at 30 frames per second. Space zoom. So we're talking about 100 times zoom on an Ultra compared to 30x zoom on the regular and the Plus. So if you want to zoom in on the moon and get a very good shot of the moon with the Ultra, you're going to be able to do that. You can probably see the man on the moon when you do that. So very, very nice touch. Obviously AI camera, video stabilization, expert raw footage if you want to use that, and then Pro and Pro video. So again, very nice specs for the camera. I'm very interested in seeing what the testing is going to look like once people get their hands on it and start posting everything about it. So I'm really looking forward to that. Other than the phones, they did release a few laptops. So let's get into the laptops a bit. So no tablets or watches at this event. They'll probably be for a little bit later. But as far as laptops, I said the Galaxy Book 3 Ultra was the one that they showed off. This is the flagship one. This has a 16-inch AMOLED screen with a 3K resolution, which is 2880 by 1800, and obviously 120 hertz refresh rate. The same type of display that they're actually using on their phones as well. So you expect vivid colors, bright colors, and everything. As for the internals, the Samsung Book Ultra is using Intel's 13th generation Intel Core i7, or you can opt for the i9 processor option. You can either have the GeForce RTX 4050, or you can bump that up to the 4070 GPU. 16 gigabytes of RAM or 32 gigabytes, and also 512 or 1 terabytes of storage. And all of this, of course, will allow you to do a lot of 3D modeling, gaming, video editing. So this will be the kingpin of their Galaxy 3 lineup. By Galaxy Book 3 lineups, starting price of this one is $21.99. So again, this is a premium product. It's not for a lower end usage. This is going to be for your gaming and your modeling and all that type of stuff. So if you are in the market for a new laptop and you're in a Galaxy ecosystem, you look for something that's going to allow you to do some gaming, and again with the 3D modeling or running 3D software, video editing, then you might want to consider picking up the Galaxy Book 3 Ultra. Moving on, the Galaxy Book 3 Pro 360. This is a 16-inch screen as well, 120 hertz. It has the S Pen comes with this. This is using again the 13th generation iCore i7 or the i5 with this one as well. It has Intel's Iris X graphics built in. Instead of having a Wi-Fi for internet connectivity, the Pro 360 has an option for a 5G radio to connect to sub-6 networks. It's in addition to having Wi-Fi as well. The memory and storage configurations mirror the Book 3 Pro, as does the starting Book 3 Pro 360s. Starting price of this one is $1,449. So again, if you wanted 2-in-1 with touchscreen and you want to utilize the S Pen, this would probably be a good book to check out. If you don't need it for 3D modeling or necessarily need it for gaming, this would probably be a good option to check out. Again, if you're in the Samsung ecosystem, you might want to check that out. The last laptop that they talked about, the Galaxy Book 3 Pro. Now this one will be available in 14 or 16 inches, and it does have the AMOLED 3K resolution as well. Again, 13th generation, i5 or i7. This also relies on the Intel the Iris X graphics chip. Memory spans 8, 16, or 32 gigabyte. And also storage is 256 and 512, or you can get the 1 terabyte as well. The Book 3 Pro starts at $999, and then it obviously bumps up based on the configuration that you get. Again, these are available for pre-order, and you can start purchasing these on the 17th as well. So Samsung also touched on a little bit of One UI 5.1. Talked about how it's going to make some enhancements and improvements, and the Galaxy series will be the first phones to come out with it, and then it will start rolling out to the other Android phones shortly after that. So I'm really looking forward to that. Actually, out of all of the products that they showed off today, I'm actually more excited about the 360 Pro notebook, because I'm in the market for a laptop or laptop replacement, or a not laptop replacement, another 2-in-1. I have had my laptop for 4 or 5 years now. So, and I'm in the Galaxy ecosystem, so I'm actually going to be interested in taking a look at that. So let me know what you think. Which one of these are you excited about? Are you excited about the Galaxy 23 Ultra, that behemoth, that nice camera setup, 200 megapixels, or are you interested in one of the notebooks that Samsung showed off today, the 360 Pro, the Ultra, or you just want the regular, just a regular book just for some casual surfing the web or whatever? So let me know down in the comments down below. Once again, I want to thank you for taking the time to check out this video. Once again, my name is Jamocha from Sounds Nerdy. Again, all the stories, or this particular story that I covered, can be found on my website at soundsnerdy.com. This is where I curate and aggregate tech news from around the web, and bring it to you in one convenient location. I cover Apple, Samsung, computer, and just tech news in general. So if you want more tech news, head over to the website and check that out. And I will see you in the next video, guys. stay nerdy.